Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. And I'm not really sure what the theme or topic of this video is. I suppose it's about getting work done in a small space. The Secret Underground Laboratory is basically 430 feet, give or take. It is centrally heated and air conditioned, and it has no windows. So the sawdust doesn't have anywhere to go but everywhere. One of the first things I did when moving into this new space was build this CAB dust collection system. It's a Eureka upright vacuum cleaner running through a Thane style separator. Very efficient. I have to say probably 99% of the sawdust stays in the bucket. I only have to change the bag in the vacuum cleaner if I let the bucket overflow. But I've got it so that I can hook this up to my biggest sawdust offenders, the table saw, the miter saw, radial arm saw, and the band saw. And that left me with this piece. This is a Delta 12.5-inch planer. It's 24 years old. It's seen an awful lot of hard use, and it still works as good as it did when it was brand new. I have absolutely no complaints about it, except for the fact that it makes an awful lot of sawdust, or shavings to be more precise. And when I got it, it had an attachment for a vacuum, but you know, it's long gone lost. Probably the bottom of a box somewhere. But when we moved into the new lab, it didn't resurface, and I just had to put up with that. But this shield comes off, and you would replace it with the vacuum adapter. Now, I have a bunch of salvaged wood from an old deck. Some of it is cypress, and some is Douglas fir. And that gives me an idea of just how old this deck was, because Douglas fir hasn't been a common wood in Louisiana for probably 50 or 60 years. I was really hoping all of it was cypress. But what it had in common was that all of them were varnished on both sides. And I was planing off this one layer of varnish when I realized that I was making an awful lot of sawdust. That's what that pile you saw at the beginning of the video. And I decided it was time to just do something about that. The solution was to make a vacuum adapter out of a couple pieces of PVC pipe. And fortunately, a piece of 2-inch and a piece of 1.5-inch fit perfectly. I ran another board through it, and it worked so great that I decided to take it off and do a before and after shot.
I'd already planed about a half a dozen boards just like this one, so I was kind of surprised when it quit moving, and that's really never good.
Now, the most common reason for a board not wanting to go through the plane is dull blades. It just can't push against the dull blade. But I changed the blades, and it didn't make any difference at all. And that's when I realized I had a different kind of problem. Inside the plane, here in the middle, is the actual rotor with the blades on it. That goes about 9,000 RPM when it's moving. And we have these two rollers, which are coated with a fairly soft rubber material. And that's what pushes the board under the blade as it's spinning. And that's how you plane your wood. Well, my problem was all that varnish on that wood that I was skinning off got coated on the rollers. They needed to be cleaned. Now, when you're looking at it like this, you can only clean one side of it and turn it on and then cut it back off again and hope that you can get the other side down, which never happens. Now, the practical thing to do is simply clean it while it's moving, which is pretty insane because your fingers are only a couple of inches away from the 9,000 RPM blade. And it'll make short work of a finger, absolutely. Now, in another life, I worked on cars. I started out as what they called the tune-up man. That became the performance specialist, and that evolved into what they called the drivability technician. Then I made the mistake of going into management, but that's another story altogether. But I did learn a deep and abiding respect for rotating machinery because I had to work on the car with the engine running. And as you can see, I still have all 10 fingers left, so it worked out well. Now, one of the other advantages is that after you've worked on cars, everything in life is easy. So for my problem here, I made this neat little shield, which will go in here, and I can lower the blade down on it, and it's perfectly protected from me and me from it while I wash the rollers off. Now, I'm still not keen about sticking my hand in there with the motor running, so I made this little stick with a curve on the end. Got my lint-free blue towel and a little dish of Dawn detergent and water. Well, this is Bronze Age for the Secret Underground Laboratory. I thank you for sitting through this video with me. I thought it was an interesting experience, and I hope you thought so too. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe. Try to have a video out once a week about something interesting going on in the Secret Underground Laboratory, recovery and salvage. And again, thank you very much.